God's original intention would be that man and woman would not die and not suffer. Immortality and impassibility. But what happened to our first parents? Through the freedom of their will, they chose disobedience, and death and suffering came into the human existence. You see, we follow a God of love, and love involves freedom. God did not make us robots, pre-programmed without freedom to choose. And Aquinas says that love is in the will, in the decisions we make. And the beauty about the season of Advent that we're entering into is that we have the freedom to change. The freedom to make a new path in our spiritual life. When you read the lives of the saints, you'll be amazed with how many of them have admitted that they were living a lackluster, lukewarm spiritual life. And then, maybe the readings they heard at Mass, maybe the other example of another saint, something made a spark grow into a fire. And that fire set the whole world around them ablaze. This Lent, pray for the grace to be open to the inspirations and promptings of the Holy Spirit. Maybe God has been whispering on your heart to go to Mass an additional time during the week. Maybe you've been away from praying the rosary like you used to. Maybe you haven't been to confession as frequently as the Lord is inviting you to. What spiritual discipline is the Lord inviting you and I personally to grow in holiness? You know what the devil's favorite color is? Do you know what it is? The devil's favorite color is gray. It's not black and white. The devil's favorite color is gray. He wants you to just float along, just to be average and lukewarm in your spiritual life. No, 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 no. If you read the end of the book of Revelation, it says, those who are neither hot nor cold but lukewarm will be vomited out of the Lord's mouth. There's something in the spiritual life called Acadia. It's when we start to become lukewarm and just flippant about our spiritual life. But what is the first commandment? Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. Do you know what the seraphim angels are like in heaven? The seraphim angels are literally ablaze with the love of God. Why? Because they are closest to the throne of God. As you draw near to God, you will experience being more set ablaze. The Lord wants you to be set on fire with the things of heaven, to start the divine life here and now. Everyday life can seem so mundane and so ordinary. But when you taste and see the spiritual delight, you crave more. In the natural life, when you taste a food that tastes so good, what happens? What happens? You want more of that food. I know all of you, when you taste that chocolate, what happens? You want another piece of chocolate and then more chocolate. Yes, indeed. When we have one taco, we want that second taco. The Lord wants us so hungry for Him. When I found your word, I devoured them, the psalmist says. The psalmist said, I couldn't get enough of reading the scriptures. St. Catherine Emmerich lived over 30 years on the Eucharist alone. She so hungered for the bread of life. She lived from Mass to Mass. She couldn't wait to go to the next Mass. Why? Because we are spiritual beings. The angels are pure spirits. We are a combination of spirit and flesh. And we have a decision. Are we going to just feed our natural selves, as important as that is? Or are we going to taste and see the goodness of the Lord? Are we going to feast from Mass to Mass and go to Mass more often and receive the bread of angels? Are we going to prioritize time to go in our chapels and experience what Mother Teresa said? Eucharistic adoration is the best time you will spend on earth. A saint said that. The best time you will spend on earth. Are we going to let our Bibles collect dust on our coffee tables? Are we going to neglect the confessional and go to the divine physician, Jesus Christ, and let Him heal our souls? Are we going to feed ourselves spiritually